Welcome to the Aligning Imperfectly podcast, where spiritual awakenings get messy, healing gets honest, and perfection gets kicked to the curb. We're your hosts, Kirsten Morley
and Bo Morley,
a couple of recovering people pleasers and rule followers learning to trust our intuition, learn gentle parenting, emotional intelligence, unraveling religious conditioning, and figure out who the heck we are now without the roles, labels, and expectations. If you've ever felt like you're in the matrix, waking up in the middle of your life wondering, wait, what am I even doing here? You're not alone. This is your permission slip to question everything, embrace the chaos, and align anyway, imperfectly, of course.
the Wim Hof breathing was really cool.
The Wim
I was
Hof.
vibrating everywhere.
Oh, I love that.
I was almost to the point where it felt like I could do that because it was vibrating and it would like hold above my legs easily.
I love that. I've done that a few times.
I was rapturing through Wim Hof.
Rapturing. Ascending. Okay, fam. Today we're going deep, like flashlight in the basement deep.
Damn.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. We're just going to talk about shadow work and what that's like, especially going through like an awakening, because that's literally what shadow work is all about, is awakening. I believe it's all in this, it's all the same thing, you know? When you're awakening, you're literally remembering who you are as a person, as a spirit, your energy body. And in order to fully awaken, I think you have to get rid of the programming, the conditioning, in order to remember who you were. And we've already been doing a lot of that. So, yeah.
Who has?
You and me. Mostly me, because that's.
So maybe you could, if you wanted to, you could just talk about what it was like for you to start facing your shadow and how that looked for you.
So, facing my shadow when I first started was, so I'll just kind of briefly describe what it was like. So, I was dealing with a lot of anxiety and depression. I felt like I was kind of crashing out in a sense. I actually remember it was right after I had our second baby. I had him via C-section. And so I felt like I was going through a lot of like body dysmorphia. I didn't feel like my body was the same after having a C-section. And I felt like my like anxiety and depression were becoming so much that I was like, okay, I either need to go on medication because this really sucks, or I need to go to therapy. And I was like, okay, therapy it is. So I tried some group therapy, and then I also did some like personal, like one-on-one therapy. And at first it was really nice to know like, hey, I'm not alone in like the stuff that I was dealing with. I also went because it was also a betrayal trauma group, and that was really nice to know that I wasn't alone. But as every single time I kept going, I felt like I was kind of spiraling, because things were just like, things would come up, and it would make me feel crazy. And then I realized I grew up in with toxic family members, and I had a lot of suppressed childhood trauma that I didn't realize, like, oh hey, this isn't normal to have, like, it's not normal for people to treat you that way. And so it kind of brought a lot of stuff up. So therapy, at first it was really nice, but then it became, what do you want to call that, like, it wasn't.
Almost like you're re-traumatizing yourself.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going for. So
through other people, what other people were saying.
yeah.
It made you like become like obsessed or like paranoid that other stuff was going on when it really wasn't.
Yeah.
Is that
No,
accurate?
that's true.
From what I remember,
That's
that's
true.
kind of.
Yeah, because somebody else would be like, "Oh, my husband cheated, blah blah blah, and he's hiding this and this," and I'm like, "Oh, is my husband doing that?" Like,
Yeah, wasn't it almost like you almost thought like the same problems came with like a pornography and sex addiction for everyone.
Yeah, for every single person. But
which was like not fair to me.
Yeah, 100% was not fair to you. But at the same time, like,
but I understood why.
Yeah.
You were worried.
Oh, for sure.
Because you were like at your wits. You were like sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah. And
And you almost didn't know.
I didn't know what was up from down, right
Mhm.
from left, and it was a big mess. And then I tried emotion code, and I had more emotional relief within those 2 sessions than I did 6 months of therapy.
Okay, so
And
that's amazing.
like, and your aunt Roseanne,
Mhm.
she was the one that helped me, and it was one of the most beautiful things. And I was like, okay, I have to know.
You and your
I
sticky notes.
I know. I have a lot. I have a whole pile of them over there. But I realized, I was like, I have to figure out how to do this for myself because something has to change. So I read the emotion code book, learned how to do it for myself. I was practicing on my kids, our kids. I was practicing on you, myself, and anybody that would let me do it, because it became kind of an obsession for me. And I released my own heart wall. And the funny thing is, like, once I released my heart wall, it felt like I saw my kids differently. I felt like I saw you differently. I was able to like take a lot of the emotion out of my life, like all of the negative emotion, and just feel like life is not so bad.
So that's interesting you say that. Take the negative emotion out of
The
what's happened to you.
the emotional charge, you know.
Okay, so kind of like so because that's a from what I understand, and I'm still like I'm kind of like going in deeper, facing my shadow. The first part of my awakening is more of like a passive, like being aware of whatever whatever I was aware of, but a part of facing your shadow, a big part is like doing it without judgment and just observing,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is crucial because if you start judging yourself, like you're almost like re-traumatizing,
Rehashing.
yeah,
Yeah.
rehashing it out
Yeah.
and causing bigger wounds. But what was it about the emotion code? Like energy healing can help you with facing your shadow
Hmm.
and do shadow work.
Right.
How does the emotion code do that? Or like what's that approach like? Like
So
is it like the topics of the sessions are the shadow you're facing?
yeah,
Or is it throughout like the
I
sessions?
guess I don't understand what your question is. Can you reframe that?
Okay. So journaling is a way to face your shadow.
Yeah.
Um, energy healing and a bunch of modalities are tools to help you face your shadow.
Right.
There's lots of other ways I think. I think they're on there, but
Yeah.
I'm just asking like what was facing your shadow like
What was facing my
at
shadow
first?
like?
Do you remember? Is it like do you remember what your thought process was or like was it were you super resistant?
I
Were
mean, I
you
think there are parts that I was resistant to because I didn't realize like how bad the shadow was, the shadow of it, or how negative it was, or like I didn't even realize that it was an issue. It's kind of like being able to recognize the patterns
okay?
of it, and then being like, okay,
Yeah.
let's, like loving and accepting yourself regardless of it. But it's interesting, so with the emotion code, if you wanted to work on like a specific emotion or an event, you just release the emotions, the negative energy that's stuck in your body. Like, you just release that, and then your body just feels better. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
I feel like the emotion code can be like a hack, like biohacking, energetically biohacking
Yeah.
your body,
That's a good I think that's pretty accurate.
so that you don't necessarily have to rehash things. You can be like, you know what, this event still bothers me. I need help taking out the emotional charge of this so that I can, go back and either rehash it myself, or, feel like it's not overthrowing my nervous system.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Like
like resetting your nervous system
hmm.
towards that thing.
Yeah, like for me, like the term shadow work or facing your shadow, I kind of got the I kind of knew what it meant, but I didn't know what it meant. So if you
Yeah.
like define shadow work, it's kind of interesting, like ways that you can actually start that process. And I think that might be helpful.
Okay, so let's
for other
define.
people. So
So
it's like
defining the shadow would be, what
so
does
it's
it
the
say?
hidden like unconscious aspects of yourself.
Yep.
So like examples, this can also be like things you suppress that are positive, like what gifts are you suppressing and talents?
Oh, interesting.
And that's shadow because what are you avoiding? Why are you avoiding those? Is it because you're
Oh,
shamed?
that's interesting
You're
because it's
ashamed.
like on K-pop Demon Hunters, we love that movie. I love the movie and the music, but they say that um I was I can't remember the exact line here that it's on, but it's something along the lines of I always talked too much, or I was too loud, I was too wild, but now I make money doing that. Like it sometimes like being able to face like your biggest insecurities, you'll be able to become who you're truly meant to be.
Yeah,
People who talk too much, they make great radio hosts or podcasters.
Theo Vaughn.
Yeah.
He's freaking hilarious.
But really, like
Yeah,
it's being able to face your biggest insecurities so that you can be who you're meant to be
yeah, embody
and
your
embody
spiritual
yourself.
gifts.
Hmm.
So like yeah, so examples of hit things you're hiding within yourself are anger, jealousy, shame, control, or self-sabotage. And like I said, it's not just the bad stuff. It can be your gifts and your strengths that you are hiding because you're ashamed of what people who don't understand you would think. So unprocessed shadow creates emotional triggers. So these are things that you can pay attention to try and figure out where is your shadow, like what triggers am I having, um, what projections do I do, and self-destructive cycles, so self-sabotaging and like going deep into those patterns. So
So
this is really helpful for me because
that's good.
my biggest question is the process that works for me to like shine light on my shadow.
Yeah, because I feel like
It's a
working through your shadow is so different for you than it is for me. 100%
sure,
different.
yeah,
I feel like there's going to be a lot of similarities, but
yeah.
some of it can be completely different.
Yeah, and I guess they say like I asked you this the other day is like, so what's in it for me if I stop avoiding facing my shadow and I like embrace and seek it out?
Hmm.
And I guess it's facing it leads to freedom, integration, self-acceptance, and authenticity. Um, I think those are worthy enough to like be uncomfortable
Yeah.
doing it. Yeah. Anyways, I thought that was interesting. Like, I think my biggest aha moment, just like looking through this, was like facing my shadow can also be seeing what other people do that annoys me. And that's probably a part of me that I need to face.
Yes.
Uh,
Triggers.
Yes.
So, how do you
Which is, that's like dress me down naked and make me run down the street. Like vulnerable.
vulnerability? Yeah, vulnerability.
Dress me down naked. Undress me until I'm naked. Oh,
So I think that's the hardest part for people is being able to not just be transparent, but to be vulnerable and with yourself.
yeah. Why is that so hard? Why
It's
would that?
because there were so many voices that told you, it's society itself, social pressures told you to be a certain way. In order to be successful, you have to do this. If you want to be happy, if you
Yeah,
have to do this.
yeah. It's like suppression culture.
So, oh my gosh, suppression culture.
Yeah, that's really what it is. It's the like boomer mentality. Like suck it up, kid.
Get over
Get
it,
over it if you're.
rub some dirt on
It's
it.
it's really like uncomfortable when you express how you feel to me. Like that type of
Yeah, you're not allowed to have emotions.
yeah.
Go cry about it in your room. Go take care of this yourself.
Yeah. We were talking about this the other day too. It's
Mhm.
like it's implied in religion, at least the religion that we were a part of.
Mhm.
It's implied that if you're feeling a bad way, um, and you're feeling negative emotions, then it's not of God and it's you're doing something wrong. So that causes a big problem. So for me, like it caused like a midlife crisis for me because I wasn't facing how I felt and I wasn't like paying attention because I thought that I didn't know how.
So all of the negative emotions
Like caught up with me.
they taught you to suppress because they made you believe that it was of Satan.
Yeah.
It was of the devil.
It's like you're just the choices that you're making, like the overall picture is if things aren't going very good for you, it's because you're not doing what's right.
You're right.
You're
It's
not
because you're not enough.
obeying or enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. So some ways to know if you have something to work on is if you have negative emotions or you feel triggered or you have
Strong reactions.
strong reactions to like somebody pouring some milk onto the table. Like, are you going to get upset about that or are you going to be like, "Yeah, it's okay. Let's just clean it up, you know? It's not a big deal. It's just milk." You know? And a lot of the times that anger that you have when somebody starts to pour milk, it's because someone else yelled at you for making that mess. So you become angry because you are trying to protect that person or that child from getting yelled at or getting
Oh,
in trouble.
oh, interesting.
It's like an inner child reaction to.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like if the kids are jumping on the couch, like why do we get upset about it? Is it because we have this voice in our head that, oh, they're going to get in trouble, we better get them down, or is it because of something else?
I think it's a couple things.
Both, obviously, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Like I asked ChatGPT, how do you do shadow work? The first step was like awareness. So if you want to break it down in like a structure, you need to be aware of your triggers, your recurring patterns, and your strong reactions. Journaling and reflection. So write what you're ashamed of or ashamed to admit, what annoys you in others, and it mirrors your shadow. And then the next part would be like compassionate inquiry. This is where you don't judge like those things about yourself.
so it's more like observing rather than judging.
Yeah. It's like asking yourself, when did I feel this? And then,
Like when did you first feel it?
yeah, or what happens when you feel this way? What's
Right.
happening, like reoccurring, the pattern of that, or
Okay.
the similar events that happen that cause you to feel that way. And then the integration practices is meditation, inner child work, therapy, energy healing, or talking with trusted friends and mentors. And then this is not about shaming yourself. It's about curiosity and healing.
That's really interesting, that word curiosity. I became curious like once I started like working through a lot of my um like I started getting into like the shadow work or working on myself. I started to become curious instead of judgmental because it was easier to work on myself when I was more curious about, okay, why do I feel this way? I want to get to the bottom of why I feel so triggered when such and such happens, you know? And and as soon as I started getting curious instead of judgmental, it was so much easier to break things down rather than, feel like I have to just stuff it down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess we could go into like we could just talk about my journal prompt yesterday and kind of what we were talking about last
It's a good
night.
idea.
Like I'm pretty new at this, and I think the big holdup for me was, for one, I'm prone to like avoidance in my natal chart. What was it? The sun rising chart. Like I had
The rising sign.
no. What did Bree do for us this year?
Oh, I don't remember what that was called.
Anyways, I had an astrology reading that said that this year was a year of transformation for me, um, and that I was prone to avoidance when it came to facing my shadow, and I needed to be aware of that. Like without me even like consciously and intentionally like facing my shadow. So now I'm beginning to do that, and I'm seeing like Kirsten sees all the time, just my avoidance, because it's so uncomfortable and I don't like those parts of me, so I avoid them. And so, like, yesterday, I did some shadow work through journaling about money and my relationship with money. And I guess we could just talk
Yeah,
about
let's talk about it.
um, how you want to lead that out, or
Yeah, if you want to grab the.
so. Yeah, yesterday Kirsten gave me, so you gave me just two questions to
Mhm.
journal about, and then I I did. And
So
then
the questions that I gave were what is your relationship like, or sorry, what was your relationship with money growing up? And then to write 10, so they're two separate questions. And then write 10 phrases or words or feelings or thoughts that come up for you when you think about money.
Mhm.
And the reason why we're doing money is because right now we have like a really big shift happening in both of our lives. And um, it's just something that I'm trying to also work through. But for you, it's just something that is needed. So,
Yeah, it's needed. Like my relationship with money, how much money you have is a reflection of your inner self,
right.
I guess. Is
Yeah. So there's a universal law that is I think it's called the law of correspondence. So as within, so without, as above, so below. And what that means is if your outer world, like if you are horrible with money, if you are completely broke, or things are just like not working out money, you need to like look on the inside and find out what your beliefs are about money. And so that's what we're doing for
yeah.
you.
I won't go into too much, but I'll just say the the past couple of years, like it's so bad that I won't even look at our bank account. I don't know how much money we have ever, and Kirsten is the one handles all that. So it's pretty bad. And so like I'm avoiding that. And through these two journal prompts, it's no wonder why. Like I found out no wonder why. I found out why. So what do you want? Should I just read what I put,
Yeah,
or
let's
like?
let's you can read
Okay, for
it,
the first
or
question is what was my relationship like growing up with money,
yeah.
or
What was your relationship with
with
money
money
growing
like?
up?
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
So can you read that again? I
What was
interrupted you.
It's okay. What was your relationship with money growing up?
So I just wrote that I felt like money physically abused me because the only time I had it was when I used my body to earn it. So I just wrote I had an abusive relationship with money.
You want to talk about the work you did, or
Yeah, I can. I think it's right here. So I just wrote that money wasn't a topic of conversation growing up in my family unless there wasn't enough of it or somebody was abusing the budget.
oh shoot. Okay.
Um, so it's kind of like the vibe of being money was hard to get. There's never enough and spread too thin. The only times I remember money being talked about in my family was to pay tithing, save for a mission, spending money the way others wanted me to spend it. When my mom misused the budget, or she complained or expressed that we were doing certain things or not able to do certain things because of the lack or because money was tight, were the only times that money came up
So it was always
in a
negative.
negative light. Yep.
Interesting.
But the type of work that I did, my dad owned a masonry business. The only time I ever had money is um, when I spent my time abusing my body, breathing in cement and mortar, or carrying buckets, 5-gallon buckets of mud up scaffolding, or stocking the scaffold with blocks and brick and rock and
So hard labor.
hard labor. Yeah.
Wow.
At the time, I thought it was like honorable, and it was thing that gave me a sense of pride, how strong I could be. But little did I know later in my life it would come to bite me. And then like jobs that I've had, a lot of the jobs that I've had have taken a toll on my body up to this point. And so that
So how does that feel for you?
is like it vibrated into my future, and it became a repetitive pattern of like I can earn the most money if I break my body for it. Like
Like
landscaping.
trading your body for money.
Yeah. That's what it's like. It was like a
Wow.
yeah, so yeah, money was controlling, it was secretive, and there was never enough. And money was conditionally there for me. So I wrote down 10 phrases or words that describe my relationship with money when I was a kid. That was the second question, right?
Yeah.
So money was inconsistent, hard to get, not enough, controlling, complicated, It asks a lot of me. It's abusive. It's secretive. It's bad. And it comes at a price.
Wow.
So Kirsten taught me, I think it's a great thing to do, is to show why you're grateful.
Like what lesson you can get out of.
What lesson you can get out of that negative or bad feeling you have about those experiences.
Yep.
So what I came up with for all that was, I'm grateful for the relationship I had with money growing up, because it taught me the lesson that it is worth it to change my relationship with money so I am not controlled, abused, or sacrifice my body for it. Something like that.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. I think it's great. And I think it's almost like, so understanding the law of polarity. So it's like the yin and the yang, the positive, negative, the, you know, and understanding like, okay, I know what lack feels like, and like
We're gonna learn from
seeing
that.
lack and abundance. And it's like anytime you get a taste of abundance, it's like, okay, you know what? I've experienced lack enough that I'm like, I am going to choose to be more abundant. You know, I'm going to break the cycles of the negativity and choose to, you know, feel abundant, because simply because I prefer that, you know? And sometimes it's not always easy breaking the chains and the cycles, but once you are able to get past that and start living in abundance, then it becomes easier and easier to choose to be abundant. Does that make sense? So I had done the same question of what was money, like what was your relationship like with money growing up? And I actually had an experience of when I was in high school. I was on the cheer team, and my parents didn't have the money to pay for everything outright. So I had to do like the fundraisers and everything. And I remember this one fundraiser that I did. It was like just selling poinsettias. And I remember being so determined to like have everything paid for with that fundraiser, because we had done that that fundraiser prior, and it was fun, and it was just something that I knew that I could do that would just take care of it. And I had done so well that it had paid for mine, and there was lots of extra. And the sad thing is that they had said, well, we can't give you the money back, so would you just allow us to take that money and put it towards other people's? And to me that was very disheartening, because it's like, oh, so I had worked my ass off and I wasn't allowed to keep the overflow. I wasn't allowed to keep the extra, which was like, which made me feel like kind of take that into my next, like I was never allowed to have the extra. I'm never allowed to have the overflow. And that's literally what's been happening in our life right now. And so facing that shadow, facing that story and changing it to like, hey, you know what, it's okay. I'm kind of like the whole lesson that I got from that was, thank you for showing me what I was capable of. Now I'm going to be a little bit more selfish and allow myself to keep the overflow. So,
that's awesome.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's so awesome.
It was like I had always remembered that story, but I never saw the lesson in it.
You continue to tell yourself the same story until this point.
Exactly.
So it's now changing your story.
Yes, that's what facing your shadow is it's facing your story and facing,
no, changing your story.
Or sorry, yeah, facing the shadow, changing the story, and learning the lesson of what you feel like you need to learn. So now I am going to feel okay to keep the overflow.
Yeah, so consciously and intentionally choosing to tell yourself the positive story.
Yep. Reframing it.
And using the negative as a positive.
Yes.
To learn and
grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And evolve.
Evolve.
All right, my loves. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
And if you got anything from today's episode, let it be this: your shadow isn't your enemy, it's a gold mine. Every trigger, every uncomfortable moment is just an invitation to heal and grow. So here's your challenge for the week, and I'll do it as well. Will you do it as well,
I
Kirsten?
will.
Pick one
Yes.
of the questions I asked. Oh my gosh. Pick one
Yes.
of the questions I asked and journal it out. Okay, did we ask a question?
That question,
Okay, so the question will be,
the question will be, what was your relationship with money growing up?
okay, so journal out that question. And seriously, just one. Start small, start messy, just start. And that's why we named the podcast Aligning Imperfectly, is because it's going to be messy. And there's nothing perfect about it. That's what
Nope.
makes us beautiful.
Yep. I
And
love that.
hey, if this episode hit home for you, share it with a friend. It really helps us out.
Yep.
Share it with a friend who's also tired of their own BS, because let's be honest, shadow work is a way better when you don't do it alone.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful to have Kirsten here
Yeah.
helping me with it.
And I want to mention that I do have my money mindset course where I go into way more questions. So if you're wanting to get way deeper, we'll leave that linked below as well. So
remember, the more light you shine on your shadow, the more whole you become. Until next time, stay curious, stay brave, and keep showing up for yourself, and we will too, even in the messy parts. Until next time, we'll see you later.
bye. Thanks for listening to Aligning Imperfectly. If something in this episode stirred your soul, made you laugh, or made you question everything, we'd love it if you'd leave a review, share it with a friend, or just come hang out with us on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. Until next time, stay curious, stay messy, and stay aligned.